Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So, doing a second video today, and I took off that other circuit I was working on and traded it in for my little Mosfet opto circuit. So, we're only running on one polarity right now, and so we got 12 volts coming in from this battery. I'm going through the Mosfet circuit, and then the output, yellow and white as usual, going through this cap dump. This is actually 433,000 in parallel, and then this is our charge battery sitting at, let's get the glare out of there, 12.433, around there. And then I got the scope hooked up so you guys can see this. So this video is basically about loading the pulse motors, because I know so many people just run them freewheel, and they always ask me why I use fans and different things as a load. Well, the answer is quite simple. When you load the motor, you could get beneficial effects from it. And if you're actually going to use it as a motor, then it needs to be able to do some type of load. So that's just a very simple load to run the motor to show mechanical power. So yeah, so we're going to fire this up and can kind of compare with and without load. So let's get this. There we go. So let's get it kind of at a pretty low level. So probably around 50 milliamps or something right there. So here's our scope shot. This is with the pulse width modulator. So you can see all these pulses, and that's what controls the speed of the motor. But in a pulse motor, it's actually just chopping it up, and it's going to give us more power going to our cap dump. In a normal motor, that usually goes through a capacitor and it controls the voltage that way. Where in a pulse motor, we don't want to control the voltage, we just want it to be chopped up as much as humanly possible. So it works out really good for a pulse motor. And so we could bring this thing up. So as you see right now, this cap dump is hardly even working, and this motor does about 18,000 RPMs. That's pretty much full on. So the cap dump isn't even really working at the moment, and we're using about 200 milliamps, somewhere in there. So as we dial it back, you could use less power and things like that, but the cap dump is still hardly even working. So let's back this back off, and now let's put this fan on here. So now we're actually going to be doing work other than just turning the motor. So here we go. So let's turn this up, just give it a little kick on there. So right now we're using very little power, we're about less than 100 milliamps, but now you can see the cap dump starting to work. So we're pulsing about just a hair under 2, but this is a very low level. So we're going to bring this up a little bit. So there's about 250 milliamps. So even though the motor is going slower, we're actually running a load. And then look at what appears when you do that. So now we're getting almost 4 amps out of the cap dump. So just by putting the load on there, you get significantly more output to your charge battery. So we bring this up some more. So here's a ½ amp. You can see the pulse widths are getting smaller, but we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 pulses on this, at this pulse width. So this is just my little pulse width from Arduino. Works quite well. And so now, since we have a load, obviously we're using a little bit more power, but we're driving something now, and now we're getting back a lot of power. So this is 6 watts right now into the motor, and then every pulse it's about 60 watts or so. And then we can bring up some more. 82 an amp and a half. So now we're motoring along really nicely. And you can see how fast this is going now. And if we go, there's 2 amps. So quite a bit faster, but if we come all the way up to full speed, see there's no more pulse width. It's just a single pulse once per revolution. We're using a lot of amperage now, and then we're not getting a whole lot back. But we're still getting some. Before, without the fan, we were barely getting anything. So as we dial this back just a little bit, even just an amp less, we're getting way more power out. And now we got the pulse width down. So yeah. So for those of you that aren't really running much loads on your pulse motor, if you try a load it, you actually might be getting a lot more power back. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys.